Hello, this is wmpyr here to talk about pepper spray and its effectiveness. First of all, the reason why I bring up this topic is, some of my friends on YouTube from Japan, in the Japan self-defense circles, it seems like the pepper spray is regarded, highly regarded as like one of the best tools that you can get for self-defense. And one of my buddies had talked to me about that, and he said, "What do you think about it?" And from my personal experience, when I was working security, I could tell you that there were some instances where I was involved with police, where we had to call in the police, and they were right there, and there was a guy that was being very violent. So I said to one of the cops, because there was two cops, and I said, "Hey, why don't you pepper spray this guy, because he's just being way too much." And that would calm him down, wouldn't it? And the guy laughed at me and he said, "Calm him down? No, it's gonna make him go insane. He's gonna be berserk." So at least the initial response is, when you pepper spray somebody, you should expect that they are gonna go berserker mode. Okay, so if you have a lot of space, you could do that and try to get them to wear themselves out. You definitely don't want to be close to them in such a circumstance, or if you're in a enclosed environment, you better have some kind of cover or something to shield you, because they're going to be all over the place, and that means the pepper spray that's on them is also going to be all over the place. And that was another thing. The guy said, that policeman, he said to me, he said, "Do you know how much of a mess it's going to make, and it's going to be such a pain in the rear for us to clean it up. And when we handcuff him and put him in the back seat, it's gonna stink up and all this. So he's gonna have to clean all that, and it's gonna be a pain." Is what he told me. Just want you guys to think about that, right? But that being said, let's think about it, okay? At least here in Texas, I could tell you guys that the police that I have met and talked to in person, they all had pepper spray on them. They all had a pistol on them. They all had a knife, and they all had some sort of stick, whether it was a collapsible baton, or it was a tactical flashlight, or some kind of flashlight, mag light, something along those lines, a stick, an impact weapon, okay? So they all had those four things. Now, depending on the police officer, they could have more. They could have other things, and the knife can depend on the officer, because there's not like one specific knife that's what do you call it, required and passed around, saying, okay, this is what you guys have to carry. No, it depends on the officer. So some will carry a certain kind of tactical folder, or another guy might carry more of a fixed blade or a neck knife, or another guy might carry, and this is also the same, not just a knife, because I've seen one officer carry more like a switchblade kind of blade. But once again, it's not just that, it's also with the flashlight itself. There's all kinds of flashlights, and that once again depends on the officer's preference. All right. Yeah, that tells me one thing. It's not about which tool is the best, like is pepper spray the best, or is pistol the best, or is knife the best. No, they carry all of it. That means it depends on the situation. So I think this is a much better view to have for you guys to think this way, rather than which is the best, which works, which doesn't work. So get out of that kind of mindset. Don't think that way, and instead think which one works better for this situation. So try to figure that out. Which one is better for that other situation, And that goes the same to me. I use the exact same philosophy for martial arts styles and martial arts techniques, because I view all of it as a tool. And at the end of the day, I will use any tool to help me survive. So I'm not going to be prejudiced towards a tool. If I'm friends with the tool, it's going to help me get out. If I have problems with the tool, like I don't like it and I'm like, this is not a good tool, or if I have an attitude problem towards the tool, it's not going to serve me well when I need it. So that's just the bottom line. And if I'm trying to force another tool into a situation where it doesn't fit in, then that could be pretty rough on me, or it could even get me killed. So I'd rather use the right tool for the right circumstance, and then it makes my survivability much, much better. It makes my life a lot easier. So, any working person could tell you that. Anyone that uses tools, a handyman will tell you that it will make your life better if you use the right tool for the right circumstance. So that's the exact same idea. So anyway, it just happens so that because of my Filipino martial arts background, that the impact type weapons, stick type weapons, I'm very, very comfortable with, because that is our fundamentals. And the knife is kind of like my specialty. All right. And once again, there's lots of Filipino martial arts people that probably feel the same way. That being said, I got no problem using pepper spray if I have it or if the circumstance arises for it. And I got no problem using a handgun. And some cops even have a shotgun in their vehicle. So of course, I have no problem using a shotgun as well, or any firearm if the circumstance arises for that, and if I have it available. Why not? Why not? Now that being said, it's all about figuring out when to use what. That comes from experience, and you have to really think things through and plan things out, of course. For me, most of the time, I'm armed with a knife. I got a knife on me, freaking, I want to say 90, but it's probably actually 100% of the time I got something like that. So with that, it's not for all circumstances, obviously. And I understand that. So, if someone messes with me on the street, it's not coming out. And if someone gives me a black eye, tooth comes out, calls me names or whatever, it's not coming out. That's what you do your martial arts for. In your martial arts training, when you go to a martial arts school, you can get, well, hopefully your teeth doesn't fall out. You wear a mouthpiece when you spar hard, but I mean, there's the potential of losing your teeth, getting a black eye, getting choked out, arm barred, knee barred, broken ribs. There's a potential for all of that in your martial arts training. So if that happens in a real life situation, to me, I just think of it as, yeah, that's, it's no different as going to a martial arts school. So leave it alone. That doesn't mean I got to take it to a life or death situation and bring out the knife and escalate the situation. No, you've taken beatings before, just take another one. That's it. The guy called you names. Oh, well, that's it. But to me, the knife is there for worse, way, 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 way worse situations. Okay, so when life or death happens. Okay, now, in case of an active shooter, would it be better if I also had an assault rifle to fight back against someone like that? Of course. Or if I had a sniper rifle? Of course. Of course. But I won't. And that's fine. This is the world we live in. Okay, I'm not walking around with a sniper rifle on my back. It's just the way it is today. So because of that's the circumstance, then I'm fine to be downgraded. And I am downgraded. And of course, having a knife against the guy who has an assault rifle, I'm at a huge disadvantage. So I got to make the circumstance into my advantage. And I understand that. But they have lethal force. I also have lethal force capability. Okay. It's just a matter of being able to make it happen onto them. They could easily make it happen onto me. But I'd rather have the potential of lethal force in case of a situation like that than not. So that's why I have it. Now, chances are I won't even be able to use it. That's fine. That's fine. But if I am able to use it, I will do it to save my life and save, maybe 10 other lives for sure. So that's one of the reasons why I carry it. Okay. So that's why. A pepper spray, on the other hand, I could use for, I feel like it's more for a less lethal situation. If the bad guy was really, really determined to shoot me or to stab me, if I have a pepper spray, I cannot count on it to stop them. You know, they might still charge at me, so I need ample distance. If it's relatively close, I feel like they're just gonna muscle through it and come stab me, come cut me, come shoot me. So the pepper spray alone wouldn't be good in that kind of situation. I need to make sure I got ample space, spray, and take off. And if I take off like that, it's even if they want to kill me, it's much harder. I already have a head start. It's much harder for them to chase me with their eyes all messed up. You know what I mean? So even though they are capable of still, if I was close, they could grab me and stab me and kill me. But because, I had that distance advantage and I had that head start advantage in such a situation like that, I think pepper spray can work very, very effectively. So it just depends on the situation. And like a tactical baton, at least in Texas, I don't believe it is illegal for us to walk around with. We can't do that. But an impact weapon can be very, very handy. Even to have one, like let's say by your door, in case some weird person you think is the mail person, you open the door and it's a weird solicitor, very aggressive, something like that. Or what if they're pretending to be the mailman and it's a home invasion type situation. So in case something like that, I think it's nice to have a stick just right by the door. It's not super alarming, or it's not like your kid's gonna grab it and kill themselves with it or something like that. Just to have something like that by the door, I think is a good idea. Something that I do recommend. But anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.